Welcome back to Dead Good Book Reviews. I'm Judith and you're watching another video here on the channel. Today we're going to be talking about new releases. I've done 3 videos of these so far this year. Maybe one of them was in 2021. It doesn't matter. We're on the 4th quarter of the year. We're not there yet, but I'm talking about the books in case you want to pre-order them. It's a new releases video. I've done these before. They've all been slightly different in form based on how much energy I had when I was planning them. So today we're going to be talking about books that are coming out from October to December of this year. And Luna's joining us to say hello. Apologies, I'm now further from the microphone, but so is the dog, and really that's the aim. So it is only July when I am filming this. I can't actually remember when this video is going up, possibly in July as well. So there may be some books that change publication date. There may be some new things that I've forgotten to add to this list, but I am going to talk about some of the books that I'm excited about reading that are coming out between October and December of this year. I shall be using my phone for this, so if you see me looking down, mind your business. Editing Judith here. I'm about to say the title of a book completely wrong. Don't worry about it. First up in October, we have One Dark Window. It has been compared to Uprooted, which is one of my favourite books of all time, and For the Wolf, which was not one of my favourite books of all time, shall we say. So 50-50 on the comparisons, but I think I get what they're going for. We're going for a woodsy kind of fairy tale vibe, which I don't necessarily get from the cover, but hey. We have a maiden who has to unleash a monster in order to save her kingdom. There's a quest to gather some Providence cards that will break the curse, or cure the kingdom of dark magic. I do apologise, but the main character, this maiden, has a monster taking over her mind. Will it be an excellent fantasy read, or will it be a terrible depiction of mental health? Only time will tell. I like Uprooted, I'm interested in this. I've moved the microphone, so if the audio is different, that is why. Next up, I picked out Strike the Zither by Joan He. I've read a couple of Joan He books and I really liked them. I thought they were a really good time. So I'm excited for this and I really love the cover. We have a fantasy reimagining of the classic Chinese tale of the Three Kingdoms, which I will be honest with you, I do not currently know, but I would look up before reading the book. The main character, Zephyr, is a master strategist working under a warlordess, is what they've worded it, but I couldn't think, would that be a war lady? Just say war, can we just gender neutral warlord? Does that work better? I don't know. They infiltrate the enemy camp and there they meet a kind of counterpart to them, another strategist called Crow. I don't know, but I'm gonna guess they're romantically interested in them. I don't know. I'm not 100% certain I'm gonna pick this up. I think it will partly depend on what other people say about it and also on how YA I think it's gonna feel and where my mood around YA is at the time, because I've read so much perfectly fine YA recently and I'm beginning to think the problem is me and maybe I should just stop reading it for a bit and refresh, you know? But I did love The Ones We're Meant to Find and Descendant of the Crane, so maybe. We're on a maybe. Last up for October, I have Into the Riverlands by Niveau. This should come as no surprise to you. I'm excited to read this. This is the 3rd book in the Singing Hills cycle. I can never remember what that series is called. But Empress of Salt and Fortune is the 1st book in that series. I love these novellas. I think they're fantastic. I believe Justine has already read this and really liked it, so I'm excited. So our main character is the same as the previous 2 books, and they are investigating the stories of the near immortal martial artists who live in this particular region. And because we know it is, it's going to be another, let's look at how many different sides to this story that we think we all know there are. I'm really, really looking forward to this. I love a novella. I've loved Niveau's work. I really need to buy these, but I don't have novella money right now, okay? It's going on the wish list for Christmas, I think. November, there are quite a lot of things coming out that I'm excited for. I just know that there's a lot of books I want to read. The first of which is Ocean's Echo by Everina Maxwell. This is a standalone book that is in the same universe as Winter's Orbit. Now, if you remember Winter's Orbit, absolutely loved it. Gorgeous little MLM, romantic space book, had a great time, really lovely look at healing from trauma, just wonderful. There's only one bed and it's in a tent, fantastic. In this we have a conscript and a lieutenant, the latter of whom can control minds and is told he has to like mind meld and control the mind of the conscript. He doesn't want to do that, so they decide they're going to pretend that they've done the mind meld and kind of plan to escape. I really want to love this, and I believe that Everina Maxwell can write this well. I have a personal ick around mind control stuff because I feel like it just opens up so many doors to really iffy things, and I feel like Everina Maxwell is going to acknowledge that is the case, but also simultaneously handle it very well. I don't know, maybe. Thank you for burping into the microphone. I want to do a reread of Winter's Orbit before I read this, even though they are standalones, just because I really want to get a handle on the world, and I don't think I did that with Winter's Orbit the first time. I feel like I really got into the romance and the story and the characters, but not so much into the world, and I'd like to dig a little deeper into that. I might wait until someone I trust has read this, and they can tell me how intense the mind control is and whether it's just going to be not for me. Another sequel/companion, A Reckless Truth by Freya Marsk. This is the sequel to A Marvellous Light, which is just out of frame here. This is the one that has been described as Sapphic Knives Out on a Boat. I'm here for it. Everything about that sounds wonderful to me. Main character Maud signs up to be a lady's maid. The lady's going on a boat. The lady turns up dead. There's an outrageous lady magician there to, be sapphic with, I assume. It's gonna be a good time. I really, really enjoyed A Marvellous Light. I thought it was just really well put together. The romance was really lovely. The world was really cool. The kind of mystery plot was fun as well. And I love things on boats are always a good time. I've been watching a review of the new Death on the Nile recently, and this gave me that kind of vibe as well, but with magic. I want to read it. I'm here for it. Give it to me now. Next up, Gleanings. This is a set of short stories in the world of the Arc of a Scythe series by Neil Shusterman, and I am actually very excited for this because, as you will know if you've heard me talk about this series before, which I'm sure people have, I really like the world of Arc of a Scythe. The romance that is a through line through all 3 books, I'm not here for. So anything around that romance, I'm just like, get it out of the way. I don't need it. Tell me more about this world. And I hope, I privately believe that this little collection of short stories is going to give me what I want from that. I hope. I believe. I want to know. One of my favourite things is worlds that are interesting having short story collections, because I feel like it lets you dig into things that you just can't get into in main books. I'm very excited for this. Come October, I will be reading this. I am certain. Do you think maybe I can make that work for my spooky October prompts? Because it's got death in it. It would be fine. Please stop being gross into the microphone. Please. This one should come as no surprise, but I'm really excited for The World We Make by N.K. Jemisin. This is the sequel to The City We Became, which is behind me somewhere. There it is. Ding! I really, really love The City We Became. I can remember reading it so vividly. It was one of those books where there's just the experience of reading it was so fun, and this follows on from that, so I'm very, very hyped. In this, the avatars that we met in book 1, avatars of New York's boroughs, have to join up with avatars of other cities to combat, presumably, a bigger, scarier bad than in book 1. Really, really excited for it. Think it's going to be wonderful. New Jemisin is always a good time. I am probably going to wait until the paperback comes out to buy a copy of this book, I think, just because I have a paperback of the first one. But I will hopefully be reading it sooner than that. Fingers crossed. The next one I wanted to bring up is Africa Risen. This is a collection of short stories that are based on African and not sure where the stress is in that word, speculative fiction. I'm really, really excited for this. The only name I actually recognised, which is terrible, and I will own that it is terrible that I only recognised one name, and it's Tobias S. Buckle, who wrote or co-wrote The Tangled Lands, which I absolutely love as a collection of short stories. So I'm actually really, really looking forward to this, and I think I'm going to try and pick up a copy, if only for expanding my list of authors that I know. I have a tendency to really focus in on novels, and I feel like there's a lot of short fiction authors out there that I'm just not experiencing because I'm not reading collections like this. So let's go. Let's read it. Let's do it. 32 original stories. That's a lot. Exciting. We're still not done with November. Heart of the Sun Warrior, the sequel to Daughter of the Moon Goddess, is out. I loved Daughter of the Moon Goddess. I nearly buy a copy of it every time I'm in the bookshop. I haven't quite sold my heart to it that way yet, and I want to know what the sequel is like, because as we know, sequels can really make or break a first book. This is meant to be diving even deeper into Chinese mythology. I don't want to get too much into what I think it's going to be about because I don't want to spoil book 1, but essentially we're following on from book 1 and doing more of what that did, which was a really, really enjoyable time. And the fact that there are so many Chinese mythology books that are vaguely on my radar makes me think I need to invest in a book that is of Chinese mythology. Maybe I'll do that as well. There is a new Rebecca Rowan horse out in November, The Tread of Angels, or just Tread of Angels, I'm not sure. We're in 1883 in a mining town, so there are prospectors, it's that kind of era. There are demons around, or demon kind, and then the main character is a card sharp who is trying to save her sister. I think this sounds like a book where I'm really going to love the atmosphere of it, and I really did like Black Sun, although before I read this, I would like to read Black Sun, read Fevered Star, and then read more Rebecca Rowan horse. That's my vague plan. And that's one for November, but there's only one for December, so it balances out. It's Children of Memory by Adrian Tchaikovsky. This is the 3rd book in the series. It's a fairly slow releasing series. We've had Children of Time, Children of Ruin, Children of Memory, so this is the 3rd book in that. The first book, Sentient Space Spiders. The 2nd book, Sentient Space Cephalopods. What will the 3rd book be? So far, all I know about it is that it is a human colony on a terraformed world where things are starting to go slightly wrong, a little bit of a failing colony, and then some people, turn up to help them, and all is not quite as it seems. It sounds like it's going to be a spooky time. I have no idea if it's going to do another similar sentient space X in this. I don't know. I'm interested. I really liked the first 2 books though. I might wait until this is out on audiobook because that's how I really liked doing the first 2 books. We'll see. We'll see. I like it. And for December, we have more Adrian Tchaikovsky. I know, there wasn't much coming out in December, or if there is, they haven't announced it yet. This is The City of Last Chances, or again, possibly just City of Last Chances. I never include the "thes" in my notes, so I never know. This has been described as Adrian Tchaikovsky's return to fantasy. I don't know how true that is. I haven't kept up with much of his other stuff, but apparently that's how they're marketing it. This sounds like it's going to be a really fun city-based fantasy, though there is a forest full of magic on the outskirts of the city, which interests me. It's also described as the city of bad decisions and last chances. You know I love a fantasy set in a city. It's just, it feeds my soul. I like a book where the city is another character of the book. I've really enjoyed things like the Greenbone Saga, Foundry Side is another one. I can't think of another good example, but there are lots out there. What have I missed? What have I forgotten? Is there anything else that you're excited for? Maybe we'll do a recap towards the end of the year of all the new releases that I missed or forgot or haven't got to yet. Perhaps we'll do something like that. Books I didn't get to in 2022, that kind of thing. Plonk those down in the comments so I can look back on this video and go, oh yes, X was coming out. I was excited for that. Oops. Is there anything in particular that you're really looking forward to? Anything on this list or anything else? Also plonk that in the comments. While you're down there commenting, if you haven't already, please do subscribe. It makes me feel loved and appreciated. You can also follow me on social media. Come hang out on Discord where we have a fun time talking about books, and you can share other new release interests, or if a new release was super disappointing but you don't want to say it in the comment section, put it on Discord where we can be sassy about it. It's a great time. Nothing makes me feel more loved and appreciated than my patrons over on Patreon who support the channel and get early access to videos and bonus exclusive content. If you would like to join their number, that's linked below. Thank you so much for watching. That's all from me, and I will see you in the next one. It's gonna be some bloopers now. So today we're gonna be talking about, there is much belly rubbing happening down here, I'm just saying.